Well, when I was first looking at engraving machines, I had no idea what toolpaths were, or more generally, what was possible from a CNC engraving machine. So I hope that this video might prove helpful if you're asking yourself similar questions. If you're not sure what a toolpath is, then in plain speak, kind of a set of instructions that you can create, including what pattern or design or path that you want the engraving tool to engrave, also the depth or pressure you want it to engrave at, and the speed you want it to engrave at, and other options. And then these instructions will be translated into the physical movements of the engraving tool when you send it to the machine. So in this video I'll be covering the diamond drag tool path only, so I'll be excluding the rotary cutout tool paths that are available for the Magic cutting machines, because I'm actually using today the Magic 5S machine, which is just a diamond drag machine. So I'll be covering some of the tool paths that are available to this machine. I might make some other videos covering other tool paths if there's any interest in that. As you can see on the screen, we're currently on MagicArt 5, which is the free software that comes with many of the Magic engraving machines. Some of the machines come with Magic Engrave software, which is very similar, but I can make a different video on that in the future if people would like that. So even if I was originally, if you're not knowledgeable about toolpaths, you should find that working through the MagicArt 5 software along with the instruction manual for the machine, it's fairly easy to follow. You should be able to work out what types of toolpaths can be created on the machine. Like every new process in your jewellery studio workshop, there is a learning curve, but if you are used to working with computers and software in general, you should be able to work out your way through it. But I hope this video will help you. And of course, if you're thinking of buying one of these machines, it's useful to see some of the options that are available in the software and from the machine before you commit to buying one. As you can see on my screen, I've just got a little bit of text with some names of different types of toolpaths, which we'll be working through. So we're going to start with the outline toolpath. Now, to get your toolpath options up on the ribbon at the top of the screen, you actually have to select some text. So as you can see now, I've selected the top box of text here, and at the top I have some icons that I can select, which give me toolpath options. The first one I've typed, and it's the first one on the ribbon up here, is the outline toolpath, which I'm going to create for this text here. Now when you click it at the top left of the toolpath box that comes up, you will see, it gives you a little demonstration using the word magic. You can see there is an outline drawn of the text itself. It then gives the target objects, which is just the objects that you have selected. To the right of that, you've got the tool options. Now, diamond tip tool is the only option on the Magic 5S engraving machine because it doesn't offer the rotary spindle cutter bits, so you can leave it at that. And the preset box to the right of that shows diamond tip outline. That preset kind of gives preset instructions which you can change. We'll go through those in a second. You can edit a preset there and have your own set up for each time you open the box, and that would appear there as an option under the preset. So you can see that it comes up with a preset speed here, which we're going to leave. I am going to increase the clearance slightly because I'm not sure that my piece of material that I'm working on is completely flat, so I'm going to increase the Z clearance slightly so that lifts that between each engraving. The toolpath quality I'm going to set to high, and for the material I'm working on I'm going to do a depth of 2.35. With the diamond tip it is a pressure, not a depth, and we're going to create that toolpath now. And if I use this icon, show toolpath only, at the top of the screen, you can see exactly what your tool is going to engrave on your metal. It's created an outline of the text that we input there. So the next set of text I have is hatching with an outline. So this icon here is for a hatching toolpath. Still the diamond tip. If you look at the top left of the box, you can see that it's showing hatching lines going across the text. Now you have several options with this. There are some presets here, diamond tip hatching, cross and narrow, but I'm just going to leave it on the diamond tip hatching and then go across to the direction box, and then you can see these hatch lines. You can select whether they're vertical, horizontal, cross, etc. from there. I'm going to leave this on horizontal. I'm not going to engrave it twice. I'm going to increase the Z clearance again for the material, and I'm going to change that to high. My depth, I'm going to do the same on my pressure. It also gives you now an option to whether you want to engrave an outline as well as the hatch lines that are inside the text. This one is with the outline, so we'll leave the outline on, and then you have an option as to what distance you want between each hatch line. So I'm going to increase that a little bit. It also offers an option of a margin. Now a margin is leaving a gap between the outer boundary of your text that you have there and the inner hatch lines. So I'm not going to do it on this toolpath, but we'll do that in a moment so that we can compare them. So we'll create that toolpath, and if we zoom in and again just show the toolpath, you can see that it's done hatch lines and also the outer line of the text. For the next one, we're going to do as it says on the box there, we're going to do hatching without the outline. So similar process, a hatching, I'm going to leave it as horizontal, increase the Z clearance, toolpath quality high, same pressure. And we're not going to engrave the outline this time, so we can see the difference, and we create that toolpath. Now, as we mentioned before, you have the option of hatching with a margin, so we're going to do that this time. And we're going to give going to put 0.1, maybe increase it a little bit, 0.15 margin on there, and hatching gap will increase again, and we won't engrave the outline this time, so we create that toolpath. Now as you can see, that's interesting actually, because the distance that I put in was larger than the distance of the text itself, it's removed that, but we'll leave it as it is. Okay, then single line, which is this icon here. It approximates the center of the text. It takes a little longer generally for the software to do that one. so bear with me. My computer is rather slow. There we go. So you can see that's approximated the centre line of the text. And then you do have the text impact option. Now I don't use this myself, but I'm going to include it. So here you can see it's really for photo engraving, so it might be best for me to do that on an image later on. But we'll do it on the text and see how it comes out. At the top left you can see the little dots it creates, and you've got options here, regular dot, irregular dot, and other options. So we'll just leave it on regular, and we'll put the quality on better. It is a flat surface that I'm using, and I'm going to change that to similar to the other depth pressure engraving I have for the others, and I'm going to clear that. That will take longer, but I'm going to clear it at 1mm. Shall we leave an outline? Yes, we'll leave an outline on that one. And there we go. That's what the machine will engrave. Next, we have to go into this box. There's some extra selections here. So we've done the single line and the text. We're going to do a boundary line. So that does what it says. It doesn't do the inner lines of the text or the pattern you're engraving. It just does the outer boundary line. There we go. You can see the inner parts of the O are not included in that. And then we're going to do a contour line. If I can find that one. This one. So the contour line creates kind of concentric or parallel lines and patterns that follow and scale down the outer boundary edges or the contours of the object. So it's an alternative to straightforward hatching. So we will do one of those. Create that one. It takes a little longer to create, as does the single line. There we go. I'll show you that one. So we will just select, we'll just type something in so we can show you the ones that I've missed out. So the icon here is Simulate Toolpath Cut. Now, somebody else might have more information on this, but I find that's not really useful unless you're actually doing a cut, so using the rotary spindle, because it relates to the width of the tool that you're using, the cutter, and it will estimate whereabouts the boundaries of that cut will be. From what I understand, if anybody would like to comment anything different on that, I'd be interested to hear that. And then this is your show toolpath only, which we've used. Just escape from that. Sorry. Now, other ones that we have missed. the inline. Didn't think that would really show because that shows the inner boundary line of the text, whereas we've already got the boundary line, so I haven't done that one this time. The hatching toolpath second strategy, if anybody can tell any difference between a normal hatching and that one, I'd be pleased to hear it, because I can't myself see any difference, but if anybody has any other information, that would be great. This one is just convert object to toolpath, and then you have all the choices that we've just gone through there. So you don't have to select the icon first, you can select that first if you wish. And the scan line toolpath, I haven't done that on the text because I find that is more useful really for high quality lines on larger solid areas. So maybe we'll do some pattern on another video and demonstrate that. Okay, so I will send all of those to the machine now, and I'm actually going to engrave them on anodized aluminium to hopefully show that clearer to you, because it will just take off that top layer of anodization, that top colour, so hopefully that will be clearer than doing it on cheap precious metal or copper for you. Okay, so I hope that's helpful.